the four of us, from stating the obvious, actually the three of us, would like to apologize for Pranay's incompetence.
Fucking Pranay.
Our last episode
why
was
you do
published
this?
much later than we originally intended, over a month, so we apologize. Mainly Pranay apologizes, but
Come on, Pranay.
Yeah, Pranay. Freaking taking years to
It was
record.
hard. It was hard
Right.
to edit it. I'll tell you that
To
much.
all
It
of
was
our
very
dear-
difficult.
To all of our dear and valued listeners, I apologize on behalf of Pranay. None of us knew that would be so hard to just get a few audio files to line up. Or really that such a Herculean
it's
undertaking would take as long as 2 weeks? Is that how long it's been? Like 2-3 weeks?
I think it's been like a month.
easily a month.
Yeah, clearly. I mean,
I think it's been 2 weeks. It's definitely 2 weeks. It sounds like.
Nah, I've been texting
No,
Pranay.
I mean-
Jith has been calling Pranay.
I just want to say this sort of real moonshot endeavor is something we will ensure does not fall upon Pranay's shoulders again, because clearly Pranay's not up to the task. So,
Yep. And with that, we would like to
Okay,
proceed
well.
to your regularly scheduled intro. Hi, I'm your host, Biswa, with stating the obvious, and today we're going to state the obvious. Noah?
once again, why do you get to be the host?
I'm the host, Noah. That's just how it is.
Oh my god.
No.
Well, you want me to say something?
I want
obvious?
you to say something obvious, Noah. I thought
Alright.
you would have figured this out now.
I want to be the host.
Okay. That's pretty obvious, but you're not going to get to. Cobb, let's hear it.
Something obvious. I'll be staying in my house for the next 14 days.
Oh, yep. I think we all are, and we're skipping Pranay because of his inadequacy. Okay, so...
Yep.
Bro, this time I don't like boxer briefs. I'm
like
over
boxer
boxer
briefs?
briefs now.
That is
wait,
the
what's
hallmark
your-
of
Over
this
boxer
podcast.
briefs.
Wait. What's changed? Like, hold on. This is
I'm over it.
this is like some
I'm
real
over
science here.
Are you into tidy whities now, Pranay?
Yeah.
No, I'm just into different things now, I guess.
What are you wearing at the moment?
It's
Pranay?
because Vishal left him.
Right now, I am wearing a boxer brief. I'm wearing boxer
Ooh.
briefs right now, but I mean I still wear them, but I don't like them as much. You know,
Really?
that's just how it is sometimes.
You prefer
change.
going commando now? Just like, letting it dangle in the breeze?
I mean, I wear shorts, so there's that. But from time to time, you just gotta let it roam free. Just have some free range.
Alright,
stuff.
well,
Okay,
Let it
and,
run free. Okay.
I do declare that this
Pranay's-
conversation is going to end right now. Noah, I believe,
I like that
has
declaration.
a moral question for us. Noah, our moral
Alright,
dude.
Yeah, okay. So this is a question straight out of my brain. Basically, the idea is how much is how much is an animal life worth, or really an animal species worth? Because we talk about things like biodiversity and protecting like wildlife, but really, how much is it worth, right? Like, for example, if I told you that by eliminating this rare species of lizard, that we could save 5-10 human lives, is it worth it? I mean, I know some people would say yes, some people would say no, but Cobb, what do you think?
Okay, I think it probably depends, right? Like, how important is that species to
yes.
to the ecosystem around, right? And does it have any like long-term effects? Like, if we take out this lizard,
See-
do more humans die, right? That kind of thing.
I mean,
No,
are
the
you
number
saying that-
one, the number one answer on this podcast is it depends.
It depends.
Just
As
rename
most
the podcast
answers
to
are.
It
Quite
Depends.
obvious.
So Noah, give some clarification
Cobb.
on that.
So
Okay,
when you
well-
say, oh wait, no,
Yes,
let me
Noah,
clarify
please
for
continue
Cobb first.
speaking,
When you
Noah.
say
Pranay, shut
What?
up. You don't have speaking
Pranay,
privileges.
you
Your
lost
speaking
your speaking
privileges
privileges.
are
Bro, the hell?
revoked.
They've been revoked, yes.
Bro,
We as the
what
council
is
decided.
this?
Yeah,
Okay.
you cannot speak anymore.
There is no
Silence.
council. Okay.
Zip it.
I thought I was part of the
Zip.
council.
Silence.
Okay, fine.
Shut up. Just shut up. Just stop talking for now. Alright, very good.
This is abuse. But I'm okay with it.
I would like it known that cyberbullying is okay if the person on the receiving end deserves it. And I think we all agree Pranay deserves it.
Moral
That is
question.
not a-
moral
that is not a-
question.
that is not a moral question.
Okay,
That is not
if
a
they
moral
deserve
question.
it.
That is not a moral question.
Can
That
we
is a
go
moral
back?
statement.
Can we go back to
That
the
is a moral
actual?
statement.
Yeah, Noah, give some clarification on that.
Right. Well, let's see. Let's say that this being a thought experiment, this like lizard species, if you remove it, like nothing will really happen. Right? There's no ecosystem collapse to be talked about here. It's just like a rare species of lizard that doesn't exist anywhere else in the world, right? Like maybe it looks cool, right? Maybe it's got like this like cool looking, I don't know, like this sort of like San Francisco 49ers sort of color scheme on it, but like maybe the 49ers fans would be sad, but like other than that, like there's no real value that this lizard has. I mean, if you think about it, right, there's like millions and millions of species out there, like species of like every sort of insect, like plant, whatever out there. Yeah, I mean, like most of those species, if you take it out, like it might have like a little bit of an effect, but not much. And the question is really, do these like does biodiversity, do these species themselves have value? Like, does being unique give you value?
Okay, yeah. So then I think that like clarifies my answer a little bit. If there's no other value to the lizard, rather than it's just like rare and unique and its looks and stuff like that, but it doesn't have like any medical properties or things like that, then like yeah, just take out the lizards and like save the humans. Like I think intrinsically people have to be like human first over the animal kind of thing.
Well, I mean, like
I think
true,
every species is like designed to survive, right?
I guess.
So every species should be looking out for its own kind over something else, especially in this kind of situation where the only value the lizard has is like just being different. Yeah.
I mean, I guess with that kind of logic, it's just like every animal just like they're unique,
Okay.
but like I guess you could just have like lions like just kill deers, right? Because that's what they're supposed to do in order to survive, and like that's fine, right? We don't like second guess like why are these lions killing their deer? Like that's what they do to survive. Like if it was a situation like this with humans and the lizards, like yeah, we probably just kill the lizards to survive because that's just like what every animal would do in that situation. We just have like the capacity to think about it differently.
I mean, like I guess at that point, like the question is like, are we as humans like different than most animals? Like, because I mean, you could argue that like for the most part, like we are kind of past that like rule of nature. Like if we don't like kill every other animal on like the species on the face of the earth, right? We're just fine. Like we'll get on just fine. So at that point, it's like
I guess there's two responses to this, right? First is like I already mentioned, we have the capacity to like think about whether or not we really should be doing it, versus like a lion just like out of instinct kills like whatever animal it wants to eat to survive. And the second answer would be humans are, yes, fundamentally different than animals because humans are the only animal that are attracted to breasts.
oh yeah, no, that's a good point. Titties do make you very different.
Yes, so
They do be like
we are in fact fundamentally different than animals. Pranay has an opinion. Wow.
Yeah.
First
yes,
time.
I
Wait,
do.
hold on.
Wait, so I think it's.
Are we as a council reinstating Pranay's speaking privileges?
Only
I-
for the next 2 minutes.
Yep.
I'll vote
that's
for that. Okay.
yeah.
Good.
All right.
Are we going on and off then? Okay. Fine.
Yeah.
Well, okay. So yeah, I was just gonna say, I think it's kind of interesting because like when we're looking at it, like when Cobb initially thought about the question too, I'm pretty sure he thought about it in terms of like the lizard's value to humans. And I think that's just very similar to like all the different species. Like all the species, they think about themselves, right? It's not like we are. I mean, sometimes some people, like some humans have different opinions about like just because it's unique, we should keep it, and not because of its value to humans. But I think as a whole, like most humans probably agree, like if we determine these things mostly in terms of value to humans. Like even when we look at ecological like disaster or ecological harms, ultimately like the reason why all these things are bad is because like it has some bad impact at the very very end relating to humans. And then also like it's just, I think it's kind of interesting to think like if like a lion had the same option to choose whether or not to kill us, like what would it say? It would say like it would probably say the same thing as us or as we do in terms of its importance to it or our importance to it. But yeah, Jeff.
Yeah, true. So, I mean, I feel like a more interesting type of question is like, what if the animal did serve some, or like insect even serve some greater purpose? So like mosquitoes all like harass us like every day. Like we're so sick of them existing. Like they bite us. We're like screw you. We hate them, right? But they
mosquitoes.
but they do serve like a purpose to some extent. To like if every mosquito on the planet just like disappeared, like there would be some sort of implication. And I feel like it's more interesting of a question to ask, being like, if we got rid of mosquitoes, we no longer suffer from like the constant mosquito bites when I go to India, but there could be some ecological damage. Yeah, Cobb.
Yeah, no, I think what Pranay is saying is true. Like at the end of the day, it's like about the impact on humans, but I don't think that's like a bad thing. I think that's like what like all species are designed to do. But going
Yeah,
back
I
to
was
like
just saying it more of a matter of fact thing. Like this is what is.
yeah, so going back to Jit's question though, I think at that point you have to weigh the harms of like killing the species versus the benefits of killing the species, which is a very case by case basis. I don't think there's like a overarching answer. Like for mosquitoes, like yeah, they transmit a lot of viruses, not just like mosquito bites, okay, that's like annoying and stuff, but like look at the actual like bad stuff. They transmit a lot of viruses, they do a lot of like agricultural harm, things like that. But then they can also be used to like if we like genetically modify mosquitoes to like contain an antiviral or antibacterial, they could inject that directly into the bloodstream of people, right? So we could use it to deliver medications and stuff like that. So there's like, which is actually
That's
like
right, anti-vaxxers, we're coming for you.
That's like a
Which
thing.
is
Mosquitoes
the
actually
one?
think
Yeah.
of-
So you just go get release mosquitoes and like sick them.
Wait, that's like such a thing people are like actually talking about, but it's so unique in the fact that it'll be a lot cheaper because there's like little to no production cost after like that initial investment, and you can get it around to everybody much easier than like taking actual medical supplies. So like I guess it's a case by case basis kind of thing.
Well, I guess if you're thinking about like this in terms of like human lives, like saying that like these animal species only really have value when talking about humans, then I mean all this stuff going on about like deforestation and like destroying the habitats of like wildlife and like animal cruelty, like cruelty free like shampoo and like all that stuff. I mean, does that all that like really matter insofar as a lot of it doesn't really come back to bite us, right? Sure, like big things like climate change, but like if you like demolish like a forest to like build a new condo complex, I mean, it's not going to like hurt any humans in the long run, like really.
Oh yeah, I think it does hurt people in the long run, especially with like ecological change, because you're pushing the species like out of their natural habitat and more into human territory, which directly can pose a threat to like humans when they're like trying to interact with these animals, right? That kind of thing. But I think there's a distinction between like that kind of stuff, like deforestation, taking out the habitats and stuff, and like animal cruelty. One's more about like animal rights, one's more about like biodiversity. I think they're like two separate issues, right?
Yeah, I think that's true. For sure.
That's fair. All right.
Yeah, that's also interesting too. For like animal cruelty, like how exactly do you think they make like animal cruelty laws? Because those are definitely not like in terms of the impact that we have on humans. It's the impact on the animals.
Oh. I mean, like I think that's like somewhat going outside of like the purview of this question, because like this question was talking like less about like does animal suffering like still matter as much as like human suffering. It was less about that, more about like the uniqueness of like biodiversity, right? Like does being unique make you valuable? I guess like the consensus seems to be no. But I mean, going off of that, looks like we got
Got a quote from Jit here.
Yeah. Well, one of my famed quotes from your host. The quote is, whenever something bad happens, someone profits off of it in some way. And this is something I thought about for a while, just because I feel like, back in like '08, around like the stock market crash, the financial crisis, we saw like all these stocks tank, but like in the movie The Big Short, we saw like, a couple people like make massive profits off it. And, that's something bad. Like a bunch of families were left homeless in America, but people still profit off of it. And I feel like in almost every situation, I feel like there's somebody profiting off of it, even if we don't know about it. Thoughts, I guess?
I mean, that seems pretty true, but I guess it's like, well, are you trying to say like, should we be the ones profiting off of it? I mean, should we go out there and like,
I mean,
buy
we
up all the
could be.
hand sanitizer? Or, I mean, should we find those people and like beat the money out of them?
Yeah, I mean, is it like okay
Like, I think also,
for them to be
I feel
profiting
like
off
there's
stuff like this?
I feel like there's probably some things also when something bad happens, nobody profits. Like I don't know if like
Yeah.
a
So like, what
nuclear
would be an
reactor
example
meltdown.
of something like that?
Yeah, so like say there's like a nuclear reactor
Well,
meltdown and it just like goes around the entire Earth, like the radioactive like fallout and stuff. Then like everyone's, and it was just someone's mistake,
well,
and so
I mean,
like everyone is kind of fucked.
I think that like solar panel equipment like manufacturers probably profit off of that.
Just
You
yeah,
know,
I
This is
mean,
true. That is true.
someone profiting isn't like necessarily them trying to be bad or something like that. It's just that they've made a type of investment beforehand, which turns out to be beneficial in the
Yeah.
face of this crisis. It's, right? So
So what if there's like a scientist creating this like reactor, this fusion reactor, and it just blows up the Earth by accident? They just end up blowing up the Earth. Then like everybody's fucked.
I
well,
mean,
yeah, but that's a bit of an extreme scenario.
and like you could probably argue that like maybe if we like survived as a race, like we would have like gone out into the stars, and, like fucked over some other alien race. So who
I mean,
knows?
this is a hypothetical,
Yeah.
I
man.
mean, I think the most like relevant. I mean, like it's a good point though. Like this is making because like I remember reading like a news story like it was like last night. Apparently there's like some dude in Tennessee who like had like 15,700 bottles of hand sanitizer, and like he was like I think like his plan was to like sell it all on Amazon at like a higher price. But as soon as like the Tennessee Attorney General started investigating him, he just like donated all of them.
Yeah. No.
Yeah,
They
they were gonna
forced
get him
they
for
forced him
price
to donate
gouging.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah, because he would have been price gouging, so they forced him
Yeah.
to
Oh,
donate
they
all of
forced
it
it.
because of this whole Corona situation happening. And speaking of Corona, we're all sitting at our homes recording this because
Or
we.
I'm still stuck at GW.
Okay, yeah, Noah's not here
Yeah,
yet,
I'm
but
standing too, so
most
I'm not.
most most
Ugh.
people are at their homes because we've all been quarantined because of the whole coronavirus situation. So
Yeah.
yeah, it's just like a giant mess. It
Raise.
totally
Yeah.
escalated. I remember making a prediction in the very like first pilot episode of the podcast. I was like, Corona will just die down like Ebola, like it won't become a massive deal.
Yeah,
And
Ooh.
here we all are quarantined in our home for the next couple of weeks. So
Yeah.
Well,
Well, I think there's like a
I've-
pretty big distinction between like the way Ebola is transmitted and the way like coronavirus is transmitted.
Well, it's also
Yeah,
like
for
the
sure.
areas that it spreads to is also different. Like Ebola is very big in Africa. Corona is not that big in Africa compared to like other places like in
racist.
China or the U.S. where Ebola was not a big.
Which is all attributed to the way it
I mean,
spreads.
Yeah,
yeah. Like I think the I
and
think,
also like
the main
the resistances of the disease.
I think like the main difference is that like just like coronavirus is like paradoxically less lethal. So like Ebola was like scary as hell because like I remember like reading like that book like Hot Zone in ninth grade bio. And like that
Yes.
book was like fucking freaky because like apparently with Ebola like like the terms like crash and bleed out like when the virus like hits you like it hits you like you fucking like fall on the floor just like bleeding from every single hole in your body and that is fucking scary, man. But like it also means that like people like with Ebola don't go around like in public and like spread it because like they're fucking dead.
You don't know something really weird or really scary, Noah?
What?
Ebola is the mild version of a disease called Marburg, which is just as lethal, or actually more lethal. It's like an 80% death rate, and it spreads just as fast.
Oh, great! Thanks, Cobb. That really helped me with my
Spreads.
my just like everyday anxiety because of this
Yeah.
health epidemic.
You're
spreads
welcome.
just as fast as Corona or
No, it's Ebola. It's Ebola.
Ebola.
It's
I was
really
like,
just
if
as fast
it
as
says
Corona,
it's just
we would
Corona,
be
like we're all kind of screwed.
Yeah, no, we would not be talking to you about this podcast because we would be dead.
There's this movie I just watched yesterday. It's called Outbreak, I think. It's on Netflix. But it was like it's about like this
I mean, like I will
disease
say,
called Motaba, which I don't think is real. What?
yeah, I don't think it is a real disease.
I've never heard
I'm
of
pretty
it.
sure it's not a real disease. But
It's not.
I don't know. It wasn't scary because it's obviously a movie, but it was pretty interesting to watch, like in light of all the recent things that's
Yeah.
been happening.
I mean,
Yeah.
like me personally, I'm still stuck at fucking GW. Woo. Raise high the buff and blue. Let's go, Patriots. Or wait, I don't even know. Colonials? No, we're the Colonials.
Aren't you guys
Which
the
is
hippos?
no. Okay, so that's weird, but yeah, we are the Colonials. But like basically, I'm okay. I told you guys I'll be flying back on the 21st, which is like the next Saturday from when we're recording. But I've actually moved up my flight to Wednesday, the 18th, just because of how fast all of this like coronavirus is like developing, and like you don't know. I mean, like tomorrow, the day after, like the whole like U.S. could be shut down. Like it's just like developing so quickly.
Yep, exactly. It's a crazy situation, and you know, the biggest problem is like if you compare the U.S. to countries like South Korea. South Korea had a huge problem with coronavirus, but then they just gathered everyone. They're like, we're testing all of you, and then they just like did en masse tested everyone. And in the U.S., like you need to meet very like specific criteria in order to test people, and it's just an entire situation with like not enough testing, and and then when not enough testing happens, people can spread it without knowing they spread it, and so on and so forth.
Yeah.
U.S.
Yeah,
is on
well,
lockdown.
that's also because like I mean, I'd give the U.S. a little bit more credit there. It's not necessarily like, yeah, it's because there's not enough tests, but the reason why there aren't enough tests is because they're focusing more on like a long-term cure rather than just like short-term quarantine, right? Like they're putting a lot of money into developing like a vaccine and like antiviral treatment over getting enough tests, right? Like I think that is, I mean, that's you can debate whether that's like a good thing or a bad thing, but like that's what they're doing, and like that's the reason why there aren't enough tests.
Okay, so the whole thing is, right, I was like reading some news articles because pretty much if you ever go on any news site, like all you see is Corona.
Yeah.
Like you don't see any other kind
Yeah.
of news anymore.
Yeah.
But basically, like we allocated like $7 billion, $13 billion or something. Like that is a lot of money in order to be dealing with the situation. And it's just like, why can't we do both? We could also be
Yeah.
producing these antiviral things, and we could be like making a bunch more test kits. Like we clearly have enough money to do so. Like the amount of money the U.S. spends every year on just anything is insane. So literally, like it wouldn't be hard to put a ton of money into testing and put a ton of money into looking for like a longer term solution to this situation. But
I
it's
mean, yeah,
just
we could do both, but like this is like what we're doing. Like this is the reason why. This is just like what's happening.
Well, I mean, like I personally think the reason why is just because like the Trump administration is horribly incompetent. But I mean, that's something we've known for a while, and I think like the one feature of like coronavirus in the U.S., which I think is maybe not unique, but probably like something we're only really seeing in the U.S., is the fact that like Trump has such an ego. He just doesn't want to admit that coronavirus is a problem, or he's only just starting to admit that. And like his like followers or like his voters are like the very people that are most vulnerable to coronavirus. So like out of like all the countries in the world, we're the only one where like the like old people, like the elderly, the sick, the most vulnerable are the ones who are like, yeah, there's no problem. Like Trump will take care of it.
Yeah, and it's interesting because at like the press conference, press briefing thing that he was doing, like Fauci, I don't know how you say it, but he was like,
Yeah.
look, it's gonna be like coronavirus is gonna be a big issue in the US. We need to be prepared for it. Like it's very problematic. Then Trump immediately said afterwards, like, we've got it all under control, the virus is contained, and I'm just like,
As a
you
bad
serious?
Trump
Well, to be
impression,
You
fair-
but
serious?
yeah.
He
Dude.
literally just said, like
Yeah,
he
to be
he
fair though,
legitimately
wait,
just said.
was this the one from yesterday, Jit?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, okay, so today he had another one where he was like, yeah, no, it is a problem. Like
Yeah,
he like
it's just-
straight up said it.
Yeah, I mean, he
Yeah.
should, but remember, like, way back before, he was like, "Oh, it's an entire like hoax by the Democrats. Like, they're just trying to
Yeah.
make the administration look bad." I was just like,
And
oh
honestly,
my
like at this
God.
point, it's like too little, too late, right? I mean, like the virus is already here. Like we're already like getting like quarantined at home because of like the virus. Like my school has shut down. Well, not shut down, but like they're doing only online classes for the rest of the year. Campus is getting closed. So like at this point, like like yeah, sure, like Trump's finally starting to realize it's a problem, but could have done that like I don't know, like a month earlier.
Yeah, for sure, I agree. But if anything good has come from this situation, the silver lining is that I had 4 exams the week I come back from spring break, and I don't have them anymore. They've all been postponed. So for that, Corona, I
Yeah.
thank you. For everything else, go die. Literally, leave me alone.
I mean, I think one other thing coronavirus has done for us is that it's allowed us to put more time into like some of the things that we've been like maybe neglecting, or like maybe some of like the shows we've been putting off because going outside and going to school is a bitch, and like that takes a lot of time out of valuable things like I don't know, binge watching TV. So
Yep.
now that we're all stuck at home, or soon will be, let's talk about some things that you can do while living inside like a fucking introvert.
Yep. So the first thing I recommend that all of our listeners do is, if this is like your first episode, go listen to the rest. Go check out the rest of the Stating the Obvious podcast.
That-
It's great. You'll love it. You can
The
listen to us make
only
horrible
3 episodes.
Good
predictions about the
Good
future.
plug.
Yeah, and stay tuned for post a new episode every week, as long as Pranay does his work.
Yeah, and we'll try to post a bit more while we're all quarantined and we have nothing else to do.
Now that Pranay is like stuck inside his house, he has no excuse. No excuse.
I agree.
Yep. He actually has no excuse. So
Uh,
we will definitely be getting more content out to you, hopefully, maybe. But with that, here's some other stuff you could do. You could listen to other podcasts. GG over Easy is something the majority of us in the podcast listen to. Jacob.
From GG.
Yeah, it's by Mr. Fruit and his gang, and it's really good. And Noah has another recommendation for a podcast.
All right.
Let's hear it.
Well, I mean, I have been listening to a podcast very recently, and I'm already on like episode 37, even though I just started like a few days ago. It is called "Hello from the Magic Tavern," and it is basically this podcast where a bunch of like improv comedians pretend that they're inhabitants in like some magical like fantasy world, and they just basically just shoot the shit. But they're like pretending to be like elves and dwarves and like wizards and whatnot. It's a very fun listen, and I highly recommend it.
Yeah, that sounds like something you'd be interested in.
It's a bunch of comedians fucking around. I don't know what you could not like about that.
I think that sounds pretty good. I'll definitely check it out.
Yeah.
But we all know,
I have another podcast.
Oh, you have another podcast?
Like, also.
Okay, yeah, let's hear it.
Yeah. I don't know if you probably have definitely heard it. It's called Radiolab. It's I don't know, the production studio is like WNYC, but it's like one of the things that comes on NPRs. I think it comes Sundays at 12, but it's just really, really, it's the first like podcast that I've ever heard. And I figured out like what podcasting was and what podcasts were. And so I'm like a pretty religious listener and stuff, but they talk about all kinds of like science stuff, like I don't know, social kind of stuff, but it's mostly like emphasis on like science and stories, I guess. But it's really good, and like their production is really, really good too.
Yeah,
this,
similar to
radio-
ours, similar level production
yeah.
to ours.
I was gonna say, so like this Radiolab taught you how to like podcast. Might not be very good then. Do they also forget to put up an episode every week because they're very slow at editing?
Company, and they have like an entire company and like a studio and stuff, which we don't have. So
yeah, I bet you they edit on time.
It crashes.
Yeah.
Like,
I bet you
I don't
they
know,
edit on
man.
time.
You know what they say, Pranay? It's a poor craftsman that blames his tools, and I think that in this case you are a very poor craftsman.
The quote coming out from Noah. Yeah, amazing.
No
man.
OP.
Yeah, for sure.
Actually,
Yeah, I'm pretty OP. Don't nerf me though. Coronavirus, please don't nerf.
Nerf. Is
Nerf
that what? Dude, if they started reporting news as in like a gaming, as if it was all
God.
gaming, it would be amazing.
that would be actually
Recent buffs to
hilarious.
Corona make meta unbalanced.
Honestly, we should start. We should
Nerf
start
Corona
a news
2020.
newspaper like that. We should start a newspaper where we just talk
Pranay
in
could
gaming
edit.
language.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know about
I
that.
could edit.
I don't know if I would trust Pranay to do that.
Yeah,
All
that
right,
would
well-
actually
Okay,
be
well,
amazing. Well,
Beyond podcasts, we have some TV shows for you to binge.
yeah.
Viswa, why don't you start us off?
Okay, so I'm a humongous advocate of Stranger Things. I absolutely love the
I know
show,
you are.
and it's 100% bingeable. So you can watch it. I watched the entire show, like season 1 to 3, in like I think 3 days. I went like a season a day. So
Nice.
it is definitely doable. It's definitely
a lot.
nice. It's a really good way to kill your time, and it keeps you invested all the way throughout. For a lot of people, what they tell me is they like watch a couple episodes and they get bored. But I will admit it has somewhat of a slow start. But if you just power through those couple episodes and just keep watching, like you will be hooked.
Well,
I
just want to ask, like
guarantee will
you
be
said,
hooked.
you said you did like an episode, a season a day, right?
Yeah.
How long is each season?
So in total, I believe there are something like over like 20 episodes, 25 episodes in total, I think, for the
Ah,
entire show. So
okay, okay.
it's
So it's not
not
too long.
And they're
it's
like
not
an hour
that
each.
long. As each episode's like 45 minutes.
Ooh.
It's like one of those
So you could
TV shows.
just
It's not like one
do
of
the
like the
entire
Okay,
thing
25
in
never
a day.
mind.
minute
So that's
shows.
like,
It's like real
uh,
television.
ooh, okay. That is for all our listeners in
No.
Japan or like who wish that they were Japanese weebs. You know who you are. I apologize for what this was just said. Anime is a beautiful art form, and we would never seek
Art
to
form,
disparage it.
yes. Okay, but
Yeah,
each season has about 8 episodes now, so it's definitely bingeable. You can do it each season every day. You can spread it out. You can do whatever you like, but I 100% recommend go watch. Also, I think something to note is with the Corona situation happening, so many shows have suspended production. It's actually wild.
yeah. Well, I mean,
Oh, really?
I
this
mean, all
isn't.
of Disney, all of Warner Brothers.
I mean, like I
They're
don't know
all
if you guys have
suspended.
seen, but like there's like late night TV shows like Last Week Tonight or like it's like the Late Show. Like they're
Hmm.
all like taping without like TV audiences, and it's like really. It's honestly really eerie, right? Because like you're so used to those
It's
like
kind of
like
weird
not
too.
yeah like not like laugh tracks, but like the laughter and like that laughter
Yeah.
feedback, and like instead you just have like Stephen Colbert and like Jimmy Fallon and like John Oliver just like saying jokes and then just like silence and like I don't know, it's weird.
Yeah, I feel like there's kind of like when there are audience members, there's some kind of mood and presence that they add. Even if they're not like saying anything, you just like know they exist, and it kind of just like adds to the entire ambiance of the show. But
Yes, uh, beautiful
yeah,
word, Viswa.
um,
Ambiance,
ambiance.
ambiance. Oh
Yeah,
yeah, some nice
Yeah, like I
ambiance
saw the
and
right there,
Stephen
bro.
Colbert like thing on YouTube, and without like the audience out, it just it was
Yeah,
just kind of off, I guess.
it's eerie. I'm gonna be honest.
Well, I mean, the shows were designed to be performed in front of a live audience. It doesn't
Yeah.
work without.
But I mean, like honestly, like even without, like it's got that like kind of like apocalypse montage feel, like where like you just see like the beginning of every apocalypse movie. There's like a 10-minute montage of like news clips and like stuff like
Oh
that, like
yeah,
showing
yeah.
just like shit going wrong. Like I feel like we're in the middle of that.
okay, yeah. So about that, I remember a while ago. Well, two things. First is a while ago, I saw this video of the song "What a Wonderful World" by Louis Armstrong, and
Ooh.
that's just played over a bunch of scenes over these destruction apocalypse movies,
Oh
and
god.
Oh
it's just
god.
so fitting. It's so beautiful to watch.
Oh my.
So I
Oh, I thought you were gonna
100%.
say it was played over like real life news things that are happening now, and I was
Oh
like, oh
no,
god,
Oh my.
are you kidding?
that would be
That
kind of
that would just
scary.
I mean,
destroy
like
me. I
I
know.
can tell you I know exactly like what like news stories and news clips I would put over like the montage of coronavirus 2020, because like fucking just like Trump going from like everything's fine to like US like, and then like you have like a news clip of just like the US fucking shutting down, and then Trump's like it might be a problem.
Yeah, this is the slow transition into health. But the second thing I was just thinking about this the other day, and it's kind of a tangent, but for all the people who are like pregnant and like having kids, imagine like going to a hospital
Yeah.
right now. Like, what a stressful situation to be
Okay,
in.
well, I mean, on
Yeah,
the bright side,
my aunt is like that.
Yeah, like,
I have heard that like
Oh really?
they did a
Damn.
study in Wuhan. It was a very small study, only like nine pregnant mothers, but it did show that of all 9 mothers, all gave birth and all had healthy babies without coronavirus. So I think that should put
Well, given
some
the fact that
people's
it
minds
doesn't
at ease.
affect like the kids as much, like I don't think it would
Yeah,
be a problem.
which is like
yeah,
I think
Yeah.
the one silver lining here.
It
for
depends.
sure.
Well, it depends if the mother has a condition.
hmm
Right?
But it's just a scary thing in general to be like going to hospitals. Like a lot of times they
Yeah.
don't like even if you think you have corona, like unless you're sure, and you're in like a really terrible state, they tell you don't go to hospitals because you could literally like
Right.
catch it or catch some kind of virus, and like you just don't want to.
And honestly,
So
like yeah, and like the medical professionals are probably really overtaxed right now. Or
hmm
they're gonna be pretty soon.
yeah, shout out
Yeah.
to everyone working in the medical
Yeah,
field
shout out
right
to all the
now.
doctors, not you, Cobb, but everyone else.
I never claimed
I'm
to be
sure
a doctor, but okay.
we
He's a
all
med
assumed you
student.
were.
No,
You have,
yeah, come. You can't deny it, come. What the hell?
yeah. I mean, You probably have really crappy handwriting, terrible bedside manner, everything that a doctor needs.
My handwriting. Oh, I type most of my stuff, so.
Yes.
The digital
Exactly,
signature.
Already.
Well, back on topic.
Yes.
Okay,
On a
so,
lighter note.
Yeah. Other TV shows to binge. So I have always been an advocate for The Expanse. I will continue to be an advocate for The Expanse until the day I die. It is on Amazon Prime Video because Sci-Fi made that foolish decision of trying to cancel The Expanse. And then Daddy Jeff was like, "No, thank you." And then he threw like $1 billion at it because, like, no, he's big dick with his money.
It's no way
So
to fix anything. Yeah.
I mean,
just throw $1 billion at him.
I mean,
Yeah,
like
I saw
do.
this. I saw this recent thing about like, there's this, I forgot. It's some meme on Instagram. It wasn't really a meme, but it was like a video to show how much like wealth Jeff Bezos has. And so they had like each grain of rice represent $100,000.
Oh, yeah,
And
I've seen this.
and then they showed like a pile of $1 million, and then they showed how much Jeff Bezos had, and it was like massive, bro. I didn't think it would be that big. It was like, so like the pile of $1 million, the pile of $1 million was maybe a handful, or maybe it was even 10 million. But either way, it was just like a handful of money, but the pile of like Jeff Bezos' wealth, it was like at least the size
It was the size of
like
praise.
a twin size bed.
Jeff
Yeah.
Bezos, please send us $1 million. I know you can afford it. Honestly, you probably wouldn't even notice if you lost $1 million. It's like it's
we
like
could up our
literally.
production
Most of his money though is like not liquid. It's like non-monetary assets, right?
Yeah.
Okay, look, but like even if you assume that like 10% of his money is liquid, that's still like a fucking like $1 billion.
That's
So,
enough to feed like all of Africa, not a small village in Africa, like all of Africa.
But like anyway, so back to The Expanse. Like basically, what can I say? It's a sci-fi TV show. It is the best sci-fi TV show I've ever seen, and I'm a pretty big sci-fi nerd. It is dramatic. It is political. It is like epic. I mean, it is the best thing on television at the moment. I will stand by that. And if you have not watched it, go watch it because really, what the hell are you doing with your life?
You think
Yeah.
you think the Expanse is better than stuff like The Witcher and The Office?
Oh yeah, no question.
Okay.
I mean, like The Witcher is it's good, right? The only problem with The Witcher is that like it's got like a little bit of like a weird pacing thing like at the beginning where like it just kind of jumps around in the timeline. It doesn't really tell you. Like you just have to like fucking figure it out. But I mean, like honestly, The Expanse is just beautiful.
Well, I think
Magnifique.
right now, since like with the corona and all the stress and like this entire situation, everyone's kind of in like a more depressed mood. So I feel like maybe watching The Office is a way to like, a more lighthearted show to just make you kind of just like sit back and like just forget about everything that's happening and just, just chill for a while and just watch the amazingness of Michael Scott, Pam, Dwight, just the entire squad, just be nonsense. Mainly Michael, but
If you like,
that show
you
is
like
just-
pranks too, man. Like,
And
they
pranks,
have some really
yeah.
good pranks.
You got
Like
Jim's
Asian
prank.
Jim, by far one of the best pranks of all time.
It was actually amazing. They fully committed to that prank. But other than TV shows to be binging right now, you could play some video games like us because we're a bunch
yeah.
of gamers. We're
Yeah,
all
I
a
got
bunch of gamers.
I got a
Gamer
really
hours.
really good video game to play. I don't know. It's been out for a while. It's still worth going back and replaying it. I don't know if you guys have played it, but Red Dead Redemption 2. Have you guys ever played that?
Yep.
Oh my!
I-
I've
I
not
never
played,
know.
but Mr.
Yeah,
Fruit
I've never
has
been
made a
so
lot of videos.
invested. I've never been so invested in a story in a video game before. I cared about every single one of the characters. The writing was it was so good. It's definitely in my like top 3 games of all time. Like
All right,
it's
all
such
right,
a,
Jacob,
the
well,
gameplay is
I mean,
good. Like
if you're so invested in Red Dead Redemption, I want to see you do your best cowboy impression.
oh god, I can't do the cowboy impression.
Oh,
should
you call
do it,
yourself
dog.
you call yourself invested.
Wait.
I
We
was
should
invested
all
in the
just
story.
do cowboy impressions for the rest
Yeah.
of the
Oh yeah,
podcast.
no, I'll do it with you. Yeah.
It's high
Okay.
noon.
Is
Yeehaw,
happening
brother.
somewhere in the world.
I'm going to
Yeah.
talk in a cowboy accent.
Oh
It's new.
Yeehaw, brother. And now that we've lost our last listener, let's get
that
on to
sounds pretty
the
good.
next video
I
game.
know, right?
Next video game you should check out is a game called Mine. Basically, it's if you guys have ever played like the card game Resistance, it's similar.
Oh, yeah.
Basically, there's like 5 missions or something. You
There's
send
also
people
this
on
card game
missions, and
called
they're
Avalon,
supposed to like
which is insane.
secure it or hack the mission. And there's like the good guys and then the hackers, and it's it's a good party game to play with your friends, and you can all play from the comfort of your room. Just all get online, create a lobby. And if you don't have friends, well,
You can play with AI.
you can play with
or
AI.
You can
I
play
think
with
you
us.
can.
You can also
I think
play.
it's
Wait, you
free
can
on
play
Steam.
against
Yeah,
other
or
players
you can
online.
play with us. You can play with us. You
Oh,
hit
yeah,
us up
whoa,
yeah.
in the review section.
yeah,
you
it's free on Steam too. It's free, so I like that.
just leave us a review, 5 stars, or we won't play with you. And just tell us what your gamer tag is, and we'll get into a real gaming session, gamers.
Yep, and it'll be great.
Woo.
And speaking of
We are a
how,
5-star rated podcast, actually.
yeah, we are. And speaking of how My Night is free on Steam right now, both Microsoft and Steam are having humongous sales. Noah has a bit
Ooh.
more information on that.
All right. I mean, like Steam. Okay. Look, if you know Steam, you know they have sales. They have sales coming out the ass. Everything is on sale. And let me tell you right now, they have sales. What kind of sales? Let me tell you what kind of sales. Ubisoft sales. You never heard of Ubisoft? It's a game company. You don't really need to know much else. But Assassin's Creed, you never heard of Assassin's Creed? What the hell is wrong with you? Assassin's Creed, you're an assassin, you have a creed. Now, Assassin's Creed, all the games, $20 or less, go buy them. What else do they have? They have Watch Dogs. You watch some dogs, and they have Watch Dogs 2, so you watch more dogs. They have Far Cry. Like you, in Far Cry, the main character is very sad. He cries all the time. He also travels a lot. He's a backpacker.
Yeah, speaking of dogs, though, I got a good little anecdote there. So
Nobody cares, Colin.
yeah, no, forget this is good. This is good. Yeah. So World Health Organization, right? WHO, right? Did a bunch of testing.
Who?
Yeah, who did a bunch of testing?
I know what's coming.
Did a bunch of testing on these dogs, right, to see if they could contract and spread the coronavirus. Because obviously that'd be like a huge problem if dogs could spread the virus, right?
I would cry.
But
Yeah.
so they took a bunch of dogs, tested them for it, and it turns out they were negative. So they let all the dogs go. They let the dogs out. Who let the dogs out?
Let the dogs
Oh
out?
my god.
Just
wasn't there
knew
like
where
a
that was
dog?
going the whole time.
Wasn't there like a dog in
I knew it
Hong
from the
Kong or like
start.
Wuhan that like actually contracted it though?
I don't know, but
Wait,
if
I'm pretty
WHO
sure
says
dogs
that
can
they can't,
contract it,
I'm
but they
gonna go
just
with
can't
them on
spread
that.
it. I read something like they can
I'm
contract
pretty
but
sure
not
there was
spread.
like a dog in like Wuhan that like got coronavirus, which means a coronavirus is coming after all we hold dear: old people, dogs, Tom Hanks. Where will it end?
Idris Elba too.
Yeah, he got
if
it.
You guys haven't heard.
Just Elba.
No!
Yeah, I just saw that.
No, we have to draw a line. We have to draw a line in the sand and say, coronavirus, you do not cross this line. You do not cross this line. I don't care how infectious you are. You get out of our dogs. You get out of our old grandmas. And you get the fuck out of Idris Elba and Tom Hanks.
Yeah, you tell him no. That'll for sure.
Yeah.
turn the
That'll
virus
stop
go
him.
away.
I'll show. Yeah, let's go. Unleash the gnome. Go unleash the beast.
For sure. Yeah, but yeah, basically what you should take away from this is there's big sales on Steam, tons of games that you can get. So
One other
go check it out.
big sale. Rainbow Six Siege is on sale for $8. Rainbow Six is a very good game. It's an LGBT simulator. There are 6 gay people. They are under siege, and your job is to get them out of the siege. It's also kind of like a dating sim, but like you know what I'm talking about. Very very sex positive.
Lots of great games. You know, you got Uno. You can play Uno with your friends.
Oh yeah,
it's the Spanish version of One.
Yep. If
Also,
you don't know
a
what One
Ubisoft
is,
game.
I mean, really, what are you doing?
Yes, also a
Is
Ubisoft
it
game.
actually a Ubisoft game?
Yeah.
It is in fact a Ubisoft
Online
game.
Uno is
Okay.
Ubisoft.
I mean,
Interesting.
Yeah,
I mean,
so definitely go check out some of these games. I know Noah has always been a big proponent of this one sort of game / simulator sort of thing. It's called Tabletop Gaming Simulator.
right. Well, I mean, it's really in the name. It's a simulator, so you can game on tabletops, but on your PC, not in real life. Because you know why? Because you can't catch coronavirus through your PC. And that means
Actually,
instead of
PCs
playing...
catch viruses all the time.
Shut the fuck up.
And there's
you know
your
what
daily dose of humor.
That was
Oh my God.
sarcasm if you did not.
What?
Thanks for that, Pranay.
Pranay, your speaking privileges are revoked again.
Yeah. Yeah, the council has
Bro,
decided.
last time we said when we
no.
ever say we say
Stop
something
talking.
sarcastic,
Pranay,
we're gonna
stop.
have to
Pranay,
remind
just
you.
Pranay,
stop talking.
Fine.
Your
You're
speaking
out of
privileges
here.
are revoked.
Three strikes.
Fine,
You're gone.
fine.
Okay, but basically, since you can't play tabletop games with your boys or your girls, or your non-gendered peoples, you can play them on Tabletop Gaming Simulator.
Exactly.
It's all the tabletop games you know and love, but instead of in real life, they're on a PC. Not much else to it. It's pretty simple.
It's pretty great, yeah. And
So Noah, what are some examples of the games they have on tabletop?
Oh well, I mean, you can play cards. I have seen these games called Red Flags and Fun Employed be played. If you've never played Red Flags, it's great. It's basically a dating sim from hell, or a dating game from hell. So you, if you ever wanted to play The Bachelorette with your friends, but like a very crappy version of The Bachelorette, yeah, Red Flags is your game.
Yep. For
All
sure.
right, great.
And we know Tabletop Gaming Simulator is great. One other really great game that Noah and I have been playing until all our universities shut down is D&D, which stands for Dungeons and Dragons. Actually featured in the very first episode of Stranger Things, by the way. Go check it out.
Wow.
But basically, D&D is a role-playing game where you get to create your own character. You get to exist in any kind of world. It's similar to like the podcast Noah was talking about earlier with Hello from the Magic Tavern. You have elves, you have all sorts of different species. But you get to just hang out with your friends, go on quests, do really whatever you want, and it's really great. Noah, you want to talk some more about that?
I mean, like, what I am going to say is as soon as I get my ass out of DC and back into Plano, I do have a D&D campaign I've been cooking up, for our boys here. And, who knows, maybe we'll put that on the podcast. Maybe not, because, that's pretty nerdy. But hey, if you're listening to us, you're probably very tolerant to that, because, well, we're all nerdy as hell. But
if you're interested, we could start a separate podcast for our D&D adventures, and you could tune into our online sessions of Dungeons and Dragons.
And D&D can just be whatever you want to make it. It can be a serious epic adventure, or it can be possibly the worst sort of adventure you've ever seen. It can be whatever the hell you can make it, and knowing the participants in this upcoming this upcoming D&D adventure, I can already tell you it's going to be a shit show.
Yeah, I think we're just going to kill Pranay really quick.
Yeah. I think so too. I definitely think so too.
No, wait, we won't have to do that. He'll just manage to do it himself.
Yeah, maybe.
I'm telling you, I will survive.
I
will survive.
Yeah. But D&D isn't the only activity you can do while you're quarantined because of COVID. There are a bunch of other activities you could try. I mean, Jacob Bernay, you want to sound us off?
Yeah, Jake.
So in terms of activities you can do, one thing is starting a podcast with your friends. The four of us have somehow managed it with Pranay as editor, so I'm sure you and your friends could do better.
So far.
Yeah, no, honestly, I thought it'd be a lot harder, but it's not that hard. Like it's pretty easy to like.
We're just talking about shit, and I'm gonna be honest. I haven't even seen any of our episodes up on Google or Apple Podcasts, so I have no idea if anybody's even listening to these. We're really just shouting into the void here, but
I'll tell you this much. Last time I checked, we had 6 5-star ratings. So
we
do,
Wait,
but Google Analytics
not
Google
like
Analytics
tooting our own horn a little bit.
Google Analytics tells me the numbers are too low to report any viewers.
So
well, 6 is a bit low, but we'll get
3 of those 5-star reviews are probably you guys. But who are the other 3?
No, because Cobb and Jit don't have Apple, so
Oh.
it's me, and then
Oh,
other people.
Wow, 5. We have 5 listeners.
No, have you not reviewed or rated our podcast?
No.
Freaking get on your phone right now.
How
and
dare
5-star
you?
Okay,
You know what?
to be fair,
I won't do that.
we might not know. Like, if they, even though they rated it, they might not have heard all of it. They might have just rated it and just like left.
That's okay. That's
You know,
okay.
I'm
We
going to be
take
honest,
those.
it's probably our parents. They're very supportive people.
Hmm.
Our parents have been very supportive, even though we are all disappointments in our own ways. So,
Our own unique ways.
yep.
One other thing you can do, I guess, other than start a podcast with your friends.
Something Noah
is
does
cook.
quite a bit.
I know
Yeah.
Noah cooks. He posts pictures of his food on the interweb, on the interwebs.
He's actually
on
quite good.
Instagram.
Yeah.
Looked pretty
I mean, let me
OP.
just tell
Took
you,
him a
like,
long
cooking-
time to do it. He's proud of it.
Yeah, cooking is like honestly, it's just great because like you just get like a big pot, you put a bunch of like ingredients in it, you let the pot do its thing, and then it comes out, and you're like, wow, that tastes like food.
I feel like I don't do it that much, but I feel like it's a very self-fulfilling kind of thing where
It-
like you
like-
make something and then you taste it, and if it
Honestly,
tastes
it
good, you're
really
just like,
is.
wow, like I
Yeah.
really did this. Like I put these things together and I made it.
And like honestly, like the best feeling is like sharing it like with other people afterwards, because like you're just like, I am feeding these people.
Yeah.
I have done it.
For sure. And I feel like it's.
It is
I just want to
always
note that
providing
if you ever like,
nourishment.
if you go out or even if you're like eating your mom's cooked food, I feel like it's important to just like tell the cook that you love their food and that it was really great, because even if it doesn't seem like much that you're doing, it like means a lot to the person who made it.
That's why
Yeah.
every time I go
That
to a
is true.
restaurant, I make sure to barge into the kitchen and tell the person who cooked my food, thank you, and then I kiss them.
On the mouth.
How does it
Yeah.
work out for you?
Yeah, but what if the
Huh?
food's bad? What if it's bad?
Then
slap
I
them.
say, I
And slap 'em.
appreciate that you tried, and I give them a hug and tell them
And
that
you
they'll
kiss
get
them.
better.
Just a hug. Okay.
Yeah,
Wow.
I mean, like, look, they have to earn the kiss, They have to earn it. If
Mhm.
I just give a kiss to everybody who cooks me a meal, I mean, does it even really mean anything?
Maybe.
I mean, it means you gave him a kiss.
Right, but like it's gotta have like some heft to it, some weight.
Some
It's gotta.
There's it.
It's a kiss, Don't just like give out kisses willy nilly.
Yeah, that's true.
Okay.
Noah
I
is
see-
very
I see what you mean.
Noah's pretty much a nun. A male
I am a
nun.
nun. I don't.
A
I don't
male
know if you've
nun
heard
is
this,
very
but-
also
liberal.
also known as a
I-
Very
priest.
conservative with the kiss.
No. I'm not a priest. I know that's a common misconception. Nor am I a monk. I am a nun. I have been inducted into the Dominican order. I'm at the convent of Saint Mary.
No,
down the street.
weren't you also a Chinese prostitute at one point?
Look, man.
What happened to that whole situation?
I
turning
mean,
into
like,
priest
I was
now?
a Chinese prostitute for a while, and then coronavirus happened. I was like, maybe this isn't the best idea. So I was like, where's the best place I can ride out the storm? And I realized that as fulfilling as having sex with Chinese businessmen is, I decided that I really needed to find myself in a different place, and that's when I decided to join a nunnery.
Yeah, Noah's a male nun.
Is
a
that what
mon.
it's actually called?
Yeah.
That's
that
that's
what it's
Interestingly,
that's actually.
Noah did mon for a while.
Yeah, no. I actually was reading a copy of Hamlet by Shakespeare, and when Hamlet says, "Get thee to a nunnery," that really just spoke to me. That just spoke to me personally, and I was like,
And you
yeah,
had to get
I
yourself to
will
a
get
nunnery.
myself to a nunnery.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I will get me to a nunnery. And
I
is
guess
true.
you're there now.
yeah, I mean, I got like 12 different STDs, but I also have a
It
deeper
worked out.
relationship with God now, so that's it.
I mean, in a way, you can say your experience being a prostitute was religious in a way.
If you think about it, STDs kind of do bring you closer to God, because
Oh, yeah,
you'll probably die sooner, and then maybe you'll get to God sooner. Who knows?
Me.
But I mean, in terms of other activities you can do, just this is just one I do as like a CS student. But even if you haven't done it before, it could still be really fun. I think coding is super great, and it has the same sort of fulfillment
Nerd.
process as cooking. I think hey, you're a sci-fi nerd. Shut up. But
That's
like
fair.
if you just code something and like you sometimes you'll get errors and stuff, but if you power through, you fix the errors and you run it and it works, like that
Okay,
feeling
Yeah.
Fixing
is
the errors is definitely, and we have seeing the moment when it works is definitely very, very good.
it's very
You know,
very
it gives you
fulfilling.
the sense of fulfillment that you can't get in real life, because in real life, when you try and fix the errors, you can't.
Yeah. Do you guys ever
kinda
just like
sad.
lie in bed or just like at random moments in your life, like at night or just like during the day, you just think about random cringe moments in like your past?
Oh my god.
Yes, I most
Yeah.
definitely have.
Yeah.
Most definitely
Uh,
have. Yes.
Yeah,
no one-
no one thinks about his grapevine round a lot.
Ah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Are we talking about
I
this?
will say, you know, we
I
got
if
to
you wanna talk
TOC
about it, we
anyways.
can. I was just
got to
thinking joke
TOC anyways. All right.
No, it's just sometimes like I'll just like lie in bed and I'll just like slowly just like cringe. I'll just like continuously cringe because I just keep thinking about stupid things I've done in my
let me just
past,
say.
and I just
Let me just say. You
Yeah,
know,
but whenever that
People
happens, I
are-
realize that like everybody has done those things, and it's just like a part of.
Doesn't
it's
make
just a
it
part
any
of being
better, though.
alive. But I
Yeah.
mean, it
I
doesn't
mean, it
change
is,
the
but, like,
fact
it
that
doesn't
I'm
make it
still
any
gonna
better.
cringe.
Even though I realize that, even though you realize it, you still like there's still one element of being like, why was I so stupid at this
I know.
point? Like, what the
Like-
hell?
Yeah,
No,
that
people-
was pretty like last week when you forgot to edit everything.
I know, right? I mean, like, people are like, you know, if I had a time machine, I would go back and, like, you know, I would shoot Adolf Hitler, or I would go back and I would, like, meet Leonardo da Vinci. Man, if I had a time machine, I would go back to when I was 12, slap myself, and say, stop being such a little shit.
Yep. Nice, Noah.
In the
No
most
one would make a very
interesting answer
productive
I've
use
heard to
of a
that
time
question.
Huh?
Yeah.
Okay, what is
Most
the most
interesting answer. Yeah, I forgot who said it. Well, someone told me they had to make like it was like impromptu speech question they were given, and they were like they go back to every moment on those tests where they changed that one answer that would like those are they
Oh.
had the right answer first and then they changed it to the wrong answer.
Oh my
There's the
God.
difference for them making a certain grade, and they said they go back to every single moment and tell them to like shut up.
I hate that. I hate that so much.
I can
Oh
tell
my
you
God.
the one question I got wrong on the PSAT on the reading and writing question, and I can tell you I spent 10 minutes on that question. I did fucking math, okay, in the reading and writing section. I was like, if from equals to, and to is a preposition of to be, then ought equals from.
It's big brain time.
No, that's why you got it wrong.
That's why I got it wrong.
That is why you got it wrong, though. Oh God, yeah. I think we all have those cringe moments. I remember once in our debate class, I sneezed on Jackie, who was
Oh,
our
God.
valedictorian.
Oh yes.
Oh, God.
It was pretty funny.
That was the fun
I
one.
mean, like, I didn't
That was
do
a
it on
really fun
purpose,
one.
right? Like, I sneezed over here, but she, like she was like sitting somewhere like over like below me on some chair or something, and somehow like I guess I didn't have full coverage. I didn't
Oh,
do
man.
like the. I remember watching a video like in 7th grade about how you're supposed to sneeze, and instead of putting your arm like across, like horizontally across your mouth, they put it like vertically, so they had like their arm like vertical to like their head,
Vertical.
and they're
What
like,
the
this is the optimal way to sneeze, and I just never did
Interesting.
it, but. Maybe if I did it like that, I wouldn't have sneezed on our valedictorian. But you know,
Jake,
we're
is that
not
one of those cringe
coronavirus
moments you
safe.
go back to?
that is one of those
You were
cringe
not-
moments.
yeah.
I just think about.
You are
Another
not
cringe
coronavirus
moment.
safe.
This was like a long time ago, but another cringe moment that has happened to me in my college experience was I remember one night pretty late, Michael and I, Michael's one of my friends, we went out to go get Taco Bell because you know I love Taco Bell, big proponent of Taco Bell.
Yo,
And
Taco
it was
Bell's
like-
gonna close, by the way.
They keep their drive-throughs open.
Drive-throughs,
So-
okay. So
Okay,
you're
yeah,
good.
So I'm
yeah.
fine.
Yeah, I've
I'm
heard
good.
that.
But like at 11, around like 11 p.m., right? They close their inside shop, so you can't enter Taco Bell. You can only go through the drive-through. So I went through the drive-through, and we were like, oh, we need someplace to like chill and eat, and we didn't want to eat in his car because, like, for whatever reason, I don't know. But so we drove to a nearby park, And we were like, oh, it is 11 p.m. This is a good time to go sit in a park bench on a cold like night and just eat Taco Bell. So we pull up into the parking lot of this park and we go and we go all the way to this park bench and we start walking there. And then a police car pulls up and then
Oh
parks
god.
right next to his car. And then he like comes out of his car and he like calls us over to him and I'm just like, I don't want to die. Like it's too soon for me.
Okay.
Like not like this. So he calls us over and he like asks for our IDs and I'm just like, please, like I know it's dark, like I look brown, but like really I'm white. Like I want the good place. Like don't do this to me. But he takes our IDs, he looks at them and he's like, okay, you're fine. But he explains to us that after like 10 or 11 p.m. like the parks close. And I was like,
What?
I didn't know
Wait,
parks
what?
closed.
It's a fucking patch of grass. I didn't realize that you could
Yeah, what the
close
hell?
that.
Neither did we. But he explained that the park was closed right now, and like we can't be like walking around and doing stuff in the park because it's like past whatever time, and they've declared the park is closed. And we were like, oh, we're just eating Taco Bell, and I think the bags from Taco Bell are what saved us because otherwise it would have looked real sus. But we had like food from Taco Bell, and he was like, oh, okay, you just want to eat, and I was like, yes, like I don't want to die. At least let me
Right,
eat
no.
before I go.
I'm sorry, officer. I went into this park after dark to shoot up heroin with my other delinquent friends.
Yeah. So
But I mean, like,
that was
okay,
happening. And,
one.
well, let me just finish.
mean-
He let us go, and he was like, you know what, like it's fine, you guys can eat, just like leave, and like just remember that part's closed after like this time. So he was pretty chill, and he left. So we just sat down, we ate super fast. I think I called Pranay at this time. I think I remember calling Pranay.
I
telling him what
I
just happened
remember
to
you
us.
calling me one
Oh
time.
my
Oh, wait,
goodness.
wait, I definitely remember this actually.
Yeah,
Holy
I
shit.
called Pranay. I was like, holy crap, you won't believe what happened to me. But we ate super quick because apparently they patrol like all these parks like after like the time's closed. Like this is what our police do with their time. They patrol parks. So we were scared another police dude was gonna roll up on us, like, and it was a different dude, and he was gonna give us problems because we would have already thrown away our Taco Bell, and we wouldn't have anything to be like, oh, we were eating. So we just like ate super fast. We got in the car, and we just left.
Oh man. Well, I mean, if we're just sharing cringe stories, I have one.
That's not
Um,
super cringe though.
Okay,
Like,
well.
Yeah.
That's not super cringe. I just remember.
just
I just remember it being
interesting.
very memorable.
I mean, there was this one time when I was like 11, and my mom sent me off to like this like church summer camp. And like even at that point, like I didn't really care too much about religion.
That worked
Like,
out well, didn't it,
Yeah,
Mr. Atheist?
I mean, like I was just like, all right, whatever. I'm just like gonna chill here and eat the free food. But like there was like this one point where like two of the friends I'd made in that like summer camp were like got into a fight, right? And like I was basically the middleman, and like I was like trying to like get them to like talk to each other. And so like I was like hey, like can I talk to like I asked like the chaperone, like, hey, like can I like talk to my two friends? She's like, all right. And then like we go talk and I come back. And, like for some reason, right? I don't to this day I don't know why, but like this will tell you something about like the kind of child I was. My 11-year-old mind was like, in some way I'm basically Sweden talking between North and South Korea. And like, and then like that's like the metaphor I had going through my brain. I did not tell either of my friends this. Thank God. But like when we came back, like the chaperone was like, "Hey, like what happened? Like what's going on?" And like my dumb 11-year-old ass could only tell her North Korea and South Korea, and like I just left. And like to this day, and like I'm still unsure if she like ever made something out of that. But like that's the story.
That's it. No, said nothing else. No
Yeah,
drop
I
the
was
mic and
like
just
North
dip.
Korea, South
that
Korea.
perfectly describes
South.
Noah's personality.
Oh my god.
I'll tell you one moment though. When I was in elementary school, I think I was thinking something in my head, and I did say it out loud for some reason. So I went to this this is during the summer, right? So obviously parents are working. You need a place to stay during the day. So there's some daycare center. We were like fairly close. So I went to like this. It's like a Montessori think it's Morningstar Montessori. That's all I'll say about specifics. I won't say anyone else's names, but uh, so I was really so at first I just went, but eventually I became really close friends with like the owner's like son and stuff. So I got like certain special privileges, right? It's like while other people had to I don't know like stick to the schedule and stuff, I could just like run around with the owner's son. We could like play computer games whenever we want. We could just run around the place like without having to care for anybody or any of the rules and stuff. Like if there's nap time, we can go shit. Like dude, who cares about nap time? We would go run around. So either way, so there's the
Wait,
owner's son
can I
also
just
like
say real quick? Pranay
yeah.
he has not changed. He is still like this. He's like, let us go run around.
That's actually quite
I just
accurate.
felt the need to mention this. You may continue.
Wait.
So
I want to say like
I've been running around since okay
yeah. Wait, wasn't there that one time like we went to like Blaze Pizza at like 1 a.m. after a debate tournament?
Yeah, but
and
it's
then
like,
Pranay's
let's have a
hey,
race.
yeah, let's go run to like the Best Buy. Like that's like Pranay. He's just like let's go run around.
Okay,
And we all
yeah.
listened
So
to
We all did it. Yeah.
It tells you something about us
part
too.
Yeah. So either way, so this guy's cousin also comes to like he also like is really often like goes to the element not the Montessori, and we like all the three of us are kind of like a gang. We like go around the place,
Gang.
like not following the rules and stuff. So one time it was like nap time, so everyone else is asleep, and so us three were like walking around, and this guy's older sister too, the owner's daughter, I guess, but she's older. She's maybe like in middle school at this time, and so just like one like disclaimer, so the owner is the guy's mom, and the guy's dad works somewhere else like abroad, and I don't see him that often. But this guy is kind of like he's like a big guy. I'm like big as in like he's kind of fat. Like I'm not gonna say it. He's kind of fat. And so one time this other random man walks into the Montessori, and we're just like we're chilling in the front, right? We're kind of where the office is. And this guy walks in, and the owner's son's cousin sarcastically says, "Hey, isn't that your dad?" And let me call the owner's son Bob, and the cousin like Jim Bob or something. So Jim Bob says, "Hey, isn't Jim Bob like tells Bob like, hey, isn't that your dad?" And this is like a sarcastic statement, right? And then my dumb ass, I just hear what he's saying. I didn't recognize that it was sarcasm, and I just said, "Wait, no, Bob's dad is really fat." Like I said this out loud to his face, to everybody's face. And so when I said it, I was like, "Holy fuck, what did I just do?" But luckily they took it really like chilly. Like everyone started laughing. But the thing is, right after this, like Bob's sister, Jim Bob, they went to Bob's mom, who's the owner of the place, and they told her exactly what I just said.
Oh god.
And I was like, oh god, I'm gonna die. Like, why you do this to me? But the thing is, she starts laughing too, and I was so surprised. I was like, bro, they're not like actually roasting me or anything.
Poor Bob's dad.
Yeah, and then they went to Bob's dad and said the same thing too. And I was in front of both Bob's mom and Bob's dad while they were telling the entire story. Bro, I was so embarrassed. Like every now and then, these are the cringe moments I think about.
Yeah, that's not even
Like,
that cringe
just-
though. You're like
just
5 years
blurting
old or
it out.
something.
No, I wasn't 5. I was like maybe like 3rd grade or something.
I mean, they laughed because you were super young, right? Like, if it was like in like a 10th grader that said it, they just like probably take offense. But because you're like a little
Yeah.
kid, like
I mean, no, like granted, like Bob, he was only like a year or two older than me.
yeah, okay, so we've all shared cringe stories. I think.
I just wanna share a story, like not mine, but my younger brother's, just because like it reminds me of Pranay's.
Okay.
Because like basically I was in an elevator in like I think it was like Hawaii with my dad and my younger brother. My younger brother's like 6, I think, at the time, maybe 5, and like we're in the elevator with like this elderly couple, and like the man is like he's like a big dude, right? And like my younger brother turns to my dad and he's like, "Dad, that guy is pregnant with triplets."
Oh god. Oh god.
I can totally see your brother saying this. Oh my god.
Unfortunate.
I can definitely see this happening. Okay, the only person here who hasn't shared a cringe story yet is Jacob. So
Yeah, I've been
yeah.
thinking of one.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, no. Most of my cringe moments that I like relapse on are like things I should have said in debate rounds.
Oh my god.
Oh god.
Actually, though.
Actually,
That
yeah, I
in
remember
itself is pretty cringe.
there's the oh my god, the cringe or not like the worst one was our round with Sharon and Daniel at Berkner Pernay.
What's so cringe about this?
I don't know, we were just
Wait,
so bad.
if you guys beat them, you would have stayed qualified, right? Yeah.
Probably.
Yeah.
You
You
would
have
have
to
to
beat
beat
other
other
people.
Yeah. No,
And
we
then
were-
you guys lost.
Yeah, because
oh
no,
my God.
Oh my god.
yeah, we were just bad that round. That's the one I relapsed on the most. I know Pernay's one is at Harvard.
Oof.
Oh, like when I did bad?
Yeah.
I don't really think much about that. I think more about state against what are their names? How did I forget their names?
Tangela Roundtree.
Yeah, Tango around.
Yeah.
I've never
These
seen.
words probably
That's
mean
the
nothing
only.
to our
That's
listeners,
literally the
but-
only thing that infuriates Pernay.
Oh my god, those motherfuckers. Tango around. I could. I
Tangela
don't know
Roundtree
how you
probably
can-
doesn't even know who you are.
I know they definitely
It's
don't.
like the
but
Thanos meme.
I know who they are. And
No,
I
what did
actually-
they say? What did they?
Thanos
Wait, what
meme.
did they say? They said something about Patriot Act. What did they say?
Yeah. So the topic was should we like something about the authorized AMF, the authorized
Yeah.
something military force.
Used for
Yeah.
military force.
Should we like repeal
yeah,
the
and
authorization
so
to use military force?
Our argument was like something about AMF like allows the president to intervene internationally in like international affairs and just like go and attack people. And so they just started saying, hey, no, the Patriot Act already does that. Which first of all, it is like very false. The Patriot Act is like about domestic stuff and it doesn't allow you to like go commit like start war against other countries. Like it just doesn't do that. And so at first we're startled. We're like, hey, this I've never heard of this. Maybe it might. So we just asked for a piece of evidence. Like we're pretty sure that it wasn't good. Like the Patriot Act does not do this. And so
were
we
not
asked for
pretty
some
sure.
evidence.
We like knew this for a fact.
Yeah, we knew this for a fact. We asked for some evidence to see like what kind of bullshit they're pulling, but they said no. We don't have any evidence, just common sense. And we're
Common
just like,
sense.
this makes no. What the hell? It's common sense that it doesn't like intervene. We explained some reasoning, and so we're just like, so obviously if you make a claim in debate, like you have to back it up. So they made this claim with some evidence. They made the claim that the Patriot Act allows you to intervene internationally, so we asked for evidence for them to back it up, and they didn't give anything. This went out throughout the entire round, and eventually they started asking us for evidence to say that it wasn't. The Patriot Act didn't allow people to intervene. And this like clearly made no sense because they're originally the people who brought up the argument to say that it does intervene. Like we didn't say, hey, it doesn't intervene. Like it doesn't allow you to intervene. That's why the AMF is doing some goddamn shit. They were like, no, this is why it allows us to go and attack other nations. And so at the end of the day, the most pissing part of this, like the worst part of it all, is that the judge too. She thought that the Patriot Act allowed you to intervene internationally, and she thought it was our burden too to go like bring up some evidence saying that it doesn't, which is I don't even know, man. Like
I will say this: if debate has taught me one thing, is that the majority of people are very dumb.
yeah,
That is true. That is 100% true. Like just leaving our high school. Our high school was like the people we hang around with at least.
Oh,
They were
yeah.
like pretty intelligent.
Yeah,
Like
I think that's somewhat of an understatement. I think we're talking like what top 1% in the nation.
like top 1%. Yeah, probably. And then going off to college, like oh my god, these people are
Oh
so
my
dumb.
God.
Yeah.
Oh my
We're
god.
kind of full of ourselves, but at the same time, like
It's true.
I mean,
it's
like,
true.
it's true.
it's not like a superiority complex because like not gonna lie, we're kind of smart. But I mean, but, like,
Sounds like one to me.
Speaking of smart,
Like
I got a good cringe story now. I got a good cringe story. This will show my smartness. So I was like,
Okay, wow.
yeah, I was like,
Cringe
I don't
stories
know.
are supposed to do the opposite, Jacob.
Yeah, that's the joke. Pranay, you can. This is the part where you say that was
sarcasm.
sarcasm.
This was sarcasm. That was sarcasm
Oh my
right
Renee
God.
there.
couldn't recognize sarcasm in the 3rd grade. How is he ever going to recognize it now?
Yeah, anyway, I was like,
It was difficult
I don't
back
know,
then,
maybe-
man.
Maybe 5, 4, I don't know, something around there, right? And then I got a birthday gift, right? And it was money, just like cash, straight cash, right? And then I mean, this is a pretty short story. There's not a lot of build up here, but And it was straight cash. And then so my parents were like, yeah, you know, split it with your sister and stuff like that, right? Just standard
Wait.
stuff. Well,
Alright.
yeah, because it was like, yeah, I don't know why, but I just remember that's what I was supposed to do. And so I took it and I ripped the money in half and gave her half because I was supposed to split it in half. And I took half of myself and I stored it away. And then it turned out to be
I mean,
useless.
you know, in your favor, isn't it like if you have like 60% of a bill, it's still worth something?
Yeah, and I don't
Wait,
think I.
is that
it's
actually
something
a
like
thing? I
that?
never knew
Something
that.
like that. Yeah.
Yeah, it's some percentage.
But I
Ooh,
don't
huh.
know if my rip was exactly down the middle. I can't remember,
Ooh.
but
If you did it like so, like you gave your sister the 40 and you kept the 60, that would be big brain.
yeah, I would have been
That
the
would be
biggest brain of
big
all time.
brain.
Yeah.
My God. Okay. I don't. That's you're just stupid.
Yeah, that's the whole point.
I
of the
don't
story.
really know what to say. You're just stupid. Top
wait,
1%. My.
Oh man, I mean, I will say like this is not anything like on the level of like Cobb like ripping money in half, but I remember when up until I was like 10, for some reason I thought the moving company U-Haul was like one word pronounced a-haul. Like I saw it and I was like, that is just a word.
Are you
Like
kidding?
a-haul. And I was like, and like one time, like my dad, I was like,
Oh,
I was talking to my dad, and we were like, you know, like what about the moving company? A-haul. And my dad's like, what? And I'm like, you know, a-haul, you know, with the orange trucks and everything. And he's like, what? No, it's U-Haul. And I was like, holy shit, you're
Well,
right.
Noah, it is pronounced U-Haul, and for our listeners, I think you all should go listen to the other episodes of this podcast. Thanks for listening, everyone.
Don't we still have like our ending song to do?
This is They've Closed Down the Bark by the Ya Yeet Boys, featuring Noah on vocals, Viswa on guitar, Pranay with the yeah, and Jacob with the ambiance. Yeah. Yeah.
Coronavirus, it's time to pirate some shows to binge watch while I sit on my couch. Tell me why it's alright to kill lizards. Tell me why I should RP as a wizard. Tell me why I can't eat Taco Bell past dark. 'Cause they've closed down the park. 'Cause they've closed down the